Hi everybody, Susan here with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. I have a Stampin' Show and Tell for you today. This is a fun fold card. As you can see, it opens up and the front is only kind of half. We're going to decorate it with the Magnolia Lane Designer Series paper. This fun petal pink ribbon that's new in the catalog, that's shiny and new. We're going to use the new nested framelits to create our little sentiment tag. We're going to die cut our flower. We're going to use some Wink of Stella. So kind of a busy card, but it goes together super simple. So we're using the Good Morning Magnolia stamp set, which is being featured here on my blog in August. So the card candy kits that went out included images and designer series paper from this collection. And then all month long I'm going to be doing different projects for you to show you all the different ways that you can use this fun suite. So let's go ahead and get started with this card. Now if you remember, I announced the case for this month as well, and this would copy into the case design. So for those of you who do my VIP program and create cards, this is one of the ones that you could think about casing. So let's go ahead and start. So I've got my card base in petal pink. Okay, and I've cut it actually down to 4 inches wide by 11 inches long. So I left it the standard length, scored it at 5.5 and folded it. And then I folded back the front, okay, this way. Now the reason I cut it to 4 inches is the designer series paper comes 12 by 12. Well, if you cut it into 4-inch strips, you get more out of it. I wanted to cover the whole front panel, but I also wanted to have enough to cut enough cards because I made this for a swap. So I just decided to thin out my card and make it 4 inches. So you could do that too. If you want that designer series paper to go a little bit farther, think about trimming your cards down to 4 inches by however the length is. So we're just going to add that panel with some snail, and look at the pretty paper on the back. That would even be gorgeous too. So there's always options. You have options when working with our designer series paper. Just coordinate your colors from the paper with your cardstock and ink, and you really can't go wrong. Alright, so there's the front panel. How easy was that? Now I'm going to add the ribbon, okay? Now the ribbon is actually going to hold this flap shut. So I'm going to first aid in that by adding a little bit of snail right there. Okay, now it doesn't have to work so hard. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some snail right here to the front of the card. Now, why did I do that? I'm going to tack my ribbon to it. So I think this is the right side. So I'm going to put my ribbon right into that snail trail. I'm going to wrap it around, bring it down, and finish it off there too. Okay, so I was 4 inches, so I do 8 inches of ribbon. I have no knot, I have no bulk, I have no stickiness anywhere else. It's just adhered right there. Okay, now from here we're going to add, I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals right over where this seam of that ribbon came in, just a little extra security. And then I'm going to put another one kind of in a triangle out here. Okay, now all those are going to serve for putting on my sentiment tag, which we're going to do right now. Okay, so I have die cut with my nested labels from my petal pink cardstock. Pop that out. And now I'm just going to stamp my sentiment. So, first things first. This stamp set has beautiful sentiments. The one I'm using today is "The journey of life is best shared with a friend. We'll get through this together." So like for a sympathy card, right? Or a card of support for some reason. But I didn't want a sad card. I wanted a happy card. So I'm going to eliminate or omit the "we'll get through this together" part when I make my card. So what we're going to do is first I'm going to stamp in my ink. I'm using Mossy Meadow because it's the coordinating color. Get that all inked up. Then I have a Post-it, right? Here's the sticky part up here. And I'm just going to put my Post-it right over those bottom 2 lines. And it's long enough that that sticky is sticking to my block. I want that a little bit higher just so it covers those words. Okay? Some people use sellotape or washi tape to cover those after they've been inked. I'm just going to use a Post-it note. So now I can see through my stamp because I've got my label on there, and I'm just going to center that on my tag. Fingers crossed. That's all we get. Journey of life is best shared with a friend. Then from there I'm going to add the thinking of you. Now the set also has hello and enjoy, today, and thanks. So you could put any of those on there, but I thought thinking of you went nicely right here. So I'm just going to add the second one. And now I'm also going to stamp my flower. Now I'm going to stamp my flower twice. First on a piece of petal pink, and then second I'm going to stamp it right in the corner of my tag. Okay, now you're not actually going to see this one, but if they're really playing with your card, they'll see that it's a two-tiered flower. So this one, remember those are sticky, are going right here on my card. Right? Now there's no adhesive here, but it's all attached. And then this one, before your ink dries, if you want to use Wink of Stella, because my ink is kind of wet, I'm going to use my Ink of Stella, and I'm actually going to use it like a blender pen and pull some of that green ink into the leaf area on my image there. So I'm coloring the petal with the Wink of Stella and blending in some of that extra wet ink before it dries. Okay, and then I'm just going to clean that off. And then I'm going to go ahead and let that dry for a second. Actually, I'll show it on the other one. So if you let it dry in your Wink of Stellas, then once it's all dry, you can color the flower with the Wink of Stella too. Now I have die cut one already, and mine's good and dry now. So I'm going to go ahead and color my flower now. And I'm just going to add some Wink of Stella into the pink part of the flower, hopefully without blending in any more green ink. But you gotta let it dry. So if you're impatient, use your heat tool. Otherwise, you know, stamp it, die cut it, and stamp it, color your leaves, then die cut it and let it dry, and then go back and add it to the pink part of the flower. So now I've got a nice shiny flower there to add to my card. So now I'm going to use another dimensional. I'm going to put it right over the top of this flower. And I'm going to add this one right here. So there we go. And then for my envelope, I just stamped that flower again right there in the corner. So pretty easy, right? So another lovely suite in the new catalog. I'm really happy to be sharing it with you guys this month. I hope you're enjoying the projects as well. And remember, you can always go to my online store and order the products that are in the suite so you can make these cards too. The PDF tutorials are on my Tuesday newsletter, and if the tutorial's not included, then it's directly on the blog post. So the link to the blog post is below, and so is the sign up for the show and tell newsletter. So go get signed up for all the things that I'm offering to you and enjoy all of your projects. Thanks everybody. Have a great day and do some fun stamping. Bye-bye.